Well, Hyundai Palisade was introduced just a few years ago, and immediately it became one of the most sought after, most popular vehicles on the market. I did one Palisade. That was about a year and a half ago or so, and I fell in love with it. It immediately made the top of my list for the next family SUV. Today I'm back at Gettle Hyundai at Lakewood, Florida with this 2022 Hyundai Palisade Calligraphy Edition, and I'm going to check it out. I'm going to see if it still has what it takes. Now, after I reviewed over 100 cars and trucks and SUVs since then, does it still have what it takes to be on top of my list for my next family vehicle? So if you're ready to come with me on this journey, let's go. The design of this vehicle really hasn't changed since it was introduced. That's a fresh build, basically about 2 years ago when they first came out. And I like it. I like this stylish, modern design of this vehicle. I even like the big grille, and that's where I disagree with my wife. She hates it. She says this is the most hideous part of this vehicle, is this big grille. I don't mind it. This one in particular is encased in this polished aluminum trim right around here. It does have like a two-tone grille on the inside. It does have parts of it as polished aluminum, part of it is that piano black, and the only chrome trim in here is that huge Hyundai logo. I even like how that splits up in here with the body color off here, and then it continues at the bottom with the same trim as you have around the grille. Now, as far as the hood, it's pretty simple. It does have a little bit of a bulge right in the middle here that makes it more masculine, more manly, if you will, as far as the vehicle. But the coolest part about it, in my opinion, are the lights. I like the Hyundai's two-piece lights. Now, most of people think, hey, these are headlights, but no, that's why I have them on, because this piece right here is the running lights. They continue going all the way through 3 pieces on calligraphy. We're going to get to it in just a second. And then this one right here obviously is the turn signal. Now, the real lights, the high beams and the low beams, LED, fully LED, are encased right in here. Why I said the 3 pieces in here? Because the Calligraphy Edition is the only one that has this little piece right here. Kind of makes a difference. That's an easy way to spot it when you want to distinguish it from all of the other trim levels on the Palisade. Well, let's pop up the hood. Let's talk a little bit about the engine on this 2022 Palisade. All right, so what hides underneath the hood is the 3.8 liter V6 engine, naturally aspirated. It produces 291 horsepower, 262 pound-feet of torque, and it's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, it's worth mentioning that no matter which trim level you get with the Palisade, you'll get the same drivetrain, so you get the same engine and transmission. The engine compartment looks pretty clean, right? There's a lot of room, nice cover in here, and my favorite, of course, the hood struts on both sides of this vehicle to keep the hood up without having this prop stick. What I also like about it, it has some nice noise insulation or some heat insulation as well right here. It should be really nice and quiet in the cabin. We'll check it out. We'll take it for a spin. Well, the classy SUV design continues on the side of this vehicle, and there's also a way of looking at the Palisade. Now take a look at the wheels. These are Calligraphy exclusive wheels, 20-inch wheels. You will only find this on the Calligraphy model. So if you don't see the wheels, for sure it's not a Calligraphy, unless someone changed it. Now, as far as the lines in here, typical SUV, nice straight up hood, okay, long roof line that doesn't slope or anything like this, so it should have nice amount of room inside. Nothing really crazy on the door, in contrast with a lot of other Hyundai products where they have a lot of creases. This one is very polished, very refined, straight lines. The only indentation is right at the bottom of the door, and that's also trimmed with that polished aluminum trim that we've seen in the front. The door handles, again, polished aluminum, no chrome. Actually, I dig it, I like it. And the same thing with the trim around the window, so there's no chrome anywhere else. You also see the roof rails that are in the same color, and obviously this vehicle is equipped with the keyless entry system, so you don't have to push the button. You basically just either lock it or unlock it, whether you have the hand on the outside or on the inside of the door handle. You see that blinkers are right here, so there's one over here, and then there's this pretty cool design right in here that illuminates as well when the vehicle is driving. So that's pretty much it. This is, oh, there's another big window right here. That's also, you know, some of the SUVs you'll see, they make this piece really large, and that kind of cuts into the visibility from the third row seat. Now, I'm not sure how many of you are going to be riding in the third row seat or even using it, but if you do, at least you get the room with the view, right? Well, we'll move on to the back and see how much room there is in the cargo space and how the seats fold down. Same thing, nothing changed in the back really. I mean, you have this nice, pretty straight down back gate. I mean, that's nice because that allows for the maximum room inside of this vehicle. Nice spoiler, gate spoiler in here that houses out that LED light in here. Palisade spelled out. We've seen it on so many vehicles that they spell out the name. Pathfinder does it, Telluride does it, Land Rovers, and so on and so forth. Now you have a fully LED light with this vehicle too. You can see the blinkers are right here that also turn into the reverse lights, and then you have that same polished aluminum trim right on the inside of that light. That's actually a pretty clever design. You also have the same trim around this reflector slash backup lights, and then you have that trim also as kind of that simulated rear skid plate. One exhaust, well, dual exhaust, but on one side right in here. This is also a front-wheel drive version. They're also available in the H-Track, which is an all-wheel drive version of the vehicle. This one is a two-wheel drive. Now, all of them are equipped, and I'm not sure because I always have problem getting this to open. Here you can open it, you know, by basically pushing the button on it. You can open it from the inside, you can open it from your remote, and then you have some room in here. But rather than me telling you about it, let me show you this. So when I first saw the Palisade a couple years ago when it just came out, I thought, and I was right, that it does have a little bit more room than my Pilot in the back. It's literally almost the same, probably a couple inches maybe lower. I like the way that they designed this. You know, it's basically an additional storage compartment that's right underneath here, and this is a cargo cover that you can install behind the second row seat if you have the third row seat folded down. So this is a space to store it. You also have the jack for the vehicle, and then the tools to change your spare tire. Now this closes nicely, and then the difference between this and some of the lower end models is that it does have the power seats, like the power folding seats. Now you can see it's a second row and the third row, and we've seen that on some other vehicles too, that third row seat is fully automated. It's up and down. The second row, it's only down. So let's fold it down and see how much room we'll have after the seats are folded. Okay, it's a one-touch operation. So here, no hands, the seats go down, and I already have one of the middle seats folded down. Okay, and I can do the same thing to this. Boom. Okay, the front seat is a little bit too far back, but you get an idea. It does have quite a bit of room inside of here. Now while we're here, let's check out the third row seat, because I'll get in there, but I probably won't be able to show it to you from there. So in the third row seat area, you do have some cup holders right there. You also have a USB port, and you have controls of the seat in front of you. So if you need to get out, rather than looking for buttons or levers or anything like this, you can simply just push the button. The seat will fold down or fold up, the back of the seat. And what you can also see from here, hopefully, that it does have two moonroofs. Now the Calligraphy editions get a moonroof in the front and a moonroof in the back. I'll show you that when I get inside of here. But overall, nice size, okay, great as far as the roominess in here. Let's get inside the second row and see. Well, like I've said in some of my videos before, and that's totally true, a lot of buying decisions are actually not made in the front seat, but especially in the family SUVs like this, a lot of people are looking for roominess in the second and the third row seats so they can hold their family with them and see how much room there is. So now I have this seat adjusted to my regular driving position. This seat, it moves back and forth, but it's all the way back. I do have probably about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches, and I like to drive comfortably, so I'm not sitting on the steering wheel. I kind of lean backward. So if you're 6 feet tall and you want to have a 6 feet tall person behind you, you can easily fit in this vehicle. Now the configuration on it is 2 captain chairs, and I believe this is the only configuration you can get on the Calligraphy edition. I didn't see the option for a bench, but if that's what you're looking for, you might want to opt in for another trim. Interior is absolutely beautiful. I loved it the first time. I still love it. Let's check it out. Starting with the door panels, you can see this Napa leather trim right inside of here. That's where it starts, right? You have a little bit of this shiny trim. Now it's not like piano black. It does actually have a little bit of a pattern in here. And then you have leather wrapped armrest right here. Different trim with the cup holders as well as the window controls. And then you have speakers. Now, as far as speakers, let's take a look at this. There's one at the bottom, and it does say Harman Kardon. It's a premium stereo that Hyundai uses on the high-end trims. It does have the sunshades. Beautiful option. I mean, I use it all the time with my Pilot. And then let's walk in here. Starting in here on the door sill right here, you have Palisade. You do also have like 2 steps in order to get into the third row seat. And we're going to demonstrate how to do that, but I want to show you a couple things. So first of all, on both seats right here, I'm going to give you a close-up of it. There are USB ports right built into the seats, which is pretty cool. Then right at the bottom here, you have full control of your climate control. Now the seats on this model are heated and ventilated, so you have that automatic climate control right here. At the bottom right here, you don't have USB ports, but you do have a regular 12-volt outlet as well as your regular household outlet. Backs of the seats, now you do have a little bit of the seat back storage in here, alongside with a little bit of a netting on the outside. So if you want to put your cell phone in here, this is a great place to do it. Napa leather, okay, nicely trimmed. Top of it's diamond stitch, perforated throughout. It does have those holes to get the air in, and then you can open up the seats a couple different ways. Okay, so first one, there you go, in order to get into the third row seat. Now if you're in the third row seat, you can use this button right here, or the buttons by the seats. This is how the third row looks like. I'm gonna start the car because it's too hot to do it without the AC. Jump in and tell you how it feels. All right, so I'm gonna get in the third row seat, see how easy it is. Okay, it's not too bad actually. Close the, now let's see if it does it automatically too. Oh no, this is for my seat recliner, so I actually have to manually move it back and lock it. Now if I lock it in the position, surprise, surprise, I'm not touching the back of this seat. Now this one is moved quite a bit forward, so I mean it would have to be moved back for the person to sit comfortably, but I think we can compromise and have 3 6-footers sitting in the back seat. Now this is technically a 3-passenger seat in the back. I think 2 will fit comfortably, or maybe 3 little kids, but even small size adults wouldn't fit in here, at least comfortably they wouldn't. All right, so what else do we have here? We have the vents right here for the AC. Now this is off. Let's turn this on. Let's sync it. Okay. Oh. Ooh, that feels so good, especially with this weather. It's 1,000,000 degrees out here. You can probably feel the fan, so I apologize for it a little bit. But what else do we have here? Nice, kind of like an Alcantara headliner right throughout here. I mean, some people love it, and some people go like, okay, it's there. I'm like one of the people that say, okay, it's there. Doesn't really do anything to me, but it feels more luxurious. This thing's right here, I believe this is for that inside camera. We're gonna check that out when I show you the infotainment system. So overall, a pretty decent roominess as far as the 3rd row seat. Now let me get out of here. I'll show you where the magic happens. And let's walk up on here. Let's first of all hear the sound of the closing door. It's very nice and solid thump. That noise that you hear is because I have a key in my pocket, so it tells me that, hey, you closed the door, but the key is not in the vehicle and the vehicle is running. So we have 2 memory seats, and the settings in here, same kind of deal as in the back. You have a little bit of that Napa leather, that shiny trim. Harman Kardon stereo, nice big speaker in here, and then that's where you control obviously your mirrors and locks and unlocks and windows right in here. So that's inside of here. Palisade right on that door sill. Several different controls for your seat, including the lumbar control and including that front knee support, which is really important, especially for people with longer knees. So what else do we have in here? On the left hand side of the steering wheel, you have the dimmer, you have the lane keep assist, then you have the blind spot assist. You can turn off your traction control, and that's where you put your parking brake on, so it's a little bit different spot than most of it, and that's where you open your gate. So let's get inside of it and get out of this heat. Let's check out the interior of this 2022 Palisade. Really nothing has changed since the last time I looked at it, but I still like it. I'm just not wowed with it as the first time when I walked in, because I've seen it so many times. I've seen it on other Hyundai's similar layout, so you kind of get kind of spoiled with all the new technology and features, especially if you do what I do, review over 100 cars in the last year alone. So let's take a look at what we have. Steering wheel, nice to the touch, right thickness. They do have some of the pedal shifters right in the back in here. What do you have in here? You have your volume control, you have your phone control, voice control, and these can set up different modes. On the other side, you have cruise control, and then you control what's going on inside of the instrument cluster. So as far as the steering wheel itself, it is adjustable, but it's not power. It's tilted and telescoping steering wheel, but you have to adjust it manually. As far as the design in here, we've seen it already, and it's pretty cool. Now, before we get to it, and before I forget again, my favorite feature on this vehicle is this. This is that blind spot cameras. When you turn on your right blinker, turns on the camera and the right mirror, left and the left mirror, so you see if something is or someone is coming. And this is probably one of the best features that I have seen on Hyundais. I don't see that on many other vehicles. I can't think of any that have that actual feature. My Honda Odyssey used to have it on the right hand side, but it would display on the navigation system, and it wasn't bad. Now, as far as the layout of this is the standard layout. You have the odometer on the at the bottom, you have the speedometer at the left, then you have the tachometer on the right. You also have the temperature and the fuel gauges. The middle screen can be adjusted to whatever you want. So you have the lane keep assist, you have the compass, fuel economy, etc., etc. You can play around with it, same as most of the other Hyundais. Now, as far as the infotainment system, again, it's the same infotainment system we've seen before. Now, cool thing about this too, I'm not sure if you can see it because it's pretty shiny, but it does have, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little people icons, kind of like when they're sitting, and that just basically tells you that the seat belts are buckled up, so that reminds you whether there's somebody sitting in the back or not, so you don't forget people in here. Now, does it have a head-up display? It looks like it does have a head-up display. It's so bright I can't see it. Maybe we can set it up in the infotainment system. 10.25 infotainment system, so it used to be one of the top of the class. Right now a lot of the manufacturers are going with the 12 and bigger screens. It's still a nice screen. Let's turn it on. Okay, Harman Kardon system, it's really nice. We're going to turn off the infotainment system, the radio, so we don't get copyrighted. But again, nice navigation system. It does have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You can set it up, navigation, different menus, radio. Okay, again, turn that off. Media, if you want to connect your phone to it, AM, FM. You can see it's grayed out because nothing is connected, but Bluetooth audio, USB music, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You also have the sounds of nature. We've seen that on so many Hyundais and Kias, and that's basically if you're coming back home and you need some calm sea waves. I'm in Florida, I can just go by the Gulf of Mexico and listen to it. If you're not, this reminds you on your vacation, right? So turn that off. That's a pretty cool feature. Let's go back to the main menu and let's see if anything changed. That's pretty much everything that we've seen before. Navigation, phone projection, voice memo. Cool feature, let you record a little note and then retrieve it later, so you don't have to write it down. Take your eyes off the wheels. Quiet mode, basically that is if you have kids sleeping in the back or somebody resting in the back, you can basically control that. That turns off the rear speakers and limits the front speaker outlet to a certain volume only. Rear climate controls, I mean, we've seen that you have a separate control in the back, but you can also control it through here. And radio, media, setup, sounds of nature, user's manual. So that's pretty self-explanatory. It's actually pretty cool system. And then you can change user profiles to make it custom to your liking and the way that you like to drive the car and what you listen to, your stations, etc. in here. Layout right here, I still think it's pretty cool. Lots of piano black, but a lot of manufacturers are using lots of shiny stuff to make it look more luxurious. No difference here with the Palisade. Okay, we'll go down. I like that polished aluminum buttons. That's basically your shortcut buttons, your power and the volume knob right here, your tune knob on the other side. Middle right here you have the big hazard lights, and if you like the more traditional way to control the climate control, you have it here as well. You can do it on the screen or here. This is your gear shifter, basically a push button gear shifter. As we can see, the parking brake was located next to the steering wheel, so it's not here anymore, and that's where you control your gears. Now auto hold, that's for your brakes. Press the brake and hold it for a second, and then you can let it go and the vehicle will not move until you press the accelerator. Drive modes, we'll check that out in just a second, and then you can turn off that engine on and off feature where it shuts off at the light. Park, you can turn on or off the parking sensors. This is your view, the camera view, turn that on and off, and then you have a full suite of basically heated and ventilated things. So ventilated seats, heated seats on both sides, heated steering wheel right here. Like this trim, I really do. I think it's not shiny and it's not slippery. So I mean, you can put stuff on here and hopefully you won't see any scratches. Push this to move this open. What do we have here? We have two cup holders here, kind of only one-sided. Oh, there you go. Here's what happens. Boom, open up the cup holders. Now you have them, and now you don't. So if you need more room in here, you can have cup holders, or you don't have to. Charging pad right here, and then you have the additional USB port in here. Let's see if we can put something in here. Of course, you have the USB and the 12-volt outlet in here. Plus, it's a pretty deep storage compartment, so you have that too. Now, in addition to all this storage that you have in here, the space underneath here, it's also open, and it also has an additional 12-volt outlet, so you can store, like, you know, stuff that you don't want people to see from the exterior. So that's a pretty cool thing. And then your glove box, etc. Now, drive modes. Okay, so you twist it to select certain drive modes, and let's check it out right here, and let's see what's available in here. So you have the sport mode, okay, and then you have your comfort mode, that's just a regular display. Then you have your eco mode, a little bit of green, most economic mode, and then you have a smart mode where the vehicle basically decides for you. So if you think that the vehicle is smarter than you, then you can have it decide. Now, I just noticed it does have a head-up display. Chances are you probably won't see it, but it does say 0 right here. All right, well, let's move up, and here you have your home link buttons at the bottom of the mirror right here, and then you have your console right on the top. Blue link button, basically SOS button. This controls the moonroof, and this controls the rear sunshade for the rear moonroof. Now, the front moonroof right here, okay, this is just a regular size moonroof. You can open it, close it, tilt it, you know, and then this one right here lets me, okay, can we do that? So you can open that rear sunshade, okay, to let some more light into the vehicle, but that roof is fixed. It does not open. Okay, so you can only let more room in and out. This is the passenger talk. That basically projects, and I can hear myself already. The front microphone will pick up the driver's voice and play it through the rear speakers. All right, so that's pretty much it. That's the interior of it. I really like it. You know, before we actually go and drive it, and I'm going to talk to you about the pricing a little bit, but I want to point out something really important. Well, two things, really. First of all, I want to just go in here, and we're going to take a look at this Monroney sticker and some portions of it. And the first thing that I want to point out is these safety ratings. And you can see the 5 is the highest one. So it received one of the highest safety ratings, basically, from National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, okay, for all of this. Now, it does have 4 in the rollover. I'm not sure if it goes to 5, but that's pretty much the highest safety rating. Okay, now, as far as miles per gallon, it does have 19 in the city, 26 on the expressway, 22 combined cycle. So it's a pretty decent gas mileage for a V6 engine. And, you know, it's not a hybrid. I'm hoping that the hybrid's going to come soon for the Telluride and the Palisade, but they've been pretty quiet about it, so I'm not sure. So that's it. Well, let's take it for a spin. Well, before we take it for a spin, as always, let's talk a little bit about pricing. I have the website pulled up. So there's essentially 4 different models that are available with the Palisade for 2022, the SE, SEL Limited, and Calligraphy. And I apologize, but Hyundai at this moment right now only has published 2021 specs. This is a 2022 model, so I can tell you that this one right here, as far as the base price, it used to be $46,200. Now the base price is $46,690. So you get an idea. It's probably $490, somewhere $500 more than the previous generation. But 2021, and from what I understand, the model lineup didn't change, is the SE, SEL Limited, and Calligraphy. And basically the cheapest one, the SE, starts at $32,675, so probably just over $33,000. SEL just over $35,000. Limited $45,275, and Calligraphy $46,200. Now there is about $1,700 upcharge for the H-Track, which is the all-wheel drive system. So these are front-wheel drive options, and you know, you can build them, you can select different packages, colors, etc. The one that we're sitting in right now, has a few options. I'm going to post it in the link in the description. The MSRP without any dealer added options, just from the factory, is $48,720, and it is a front-wheel drive vehicle. So I mean, you can go to a Hyundai website. They have a really nice configurator, so you can check it out. The one thing also to mention is the warranty, because you can't skip talking about the warranty if you're looking or if you're shopping for a vehicle. So 5 years, 60,000 miles is the base warranty, and then the powertrain warranty on this vehicle is 10 years, 100,000 miles. Okay, that's a powertrain. You also have the 3 years, 36,000 miles complimentary maintenance from Hyundai right now. So if you buy a car like this, that's something to keep in mind. You know, people say, hey, you know, some of those cars break down. All of the cars break down, some of them more than the others. Now, this has a pretty good track record as far as the reliability. There's been a few issues with it, and one of them that just surfaced not too long ago is that people were complaining about like the rotten egg smell that's coming from the seats. And it turns out that they use some kind of material in the seats that produces that smell. Now, there's really no remedy for it other than Hyundai said, hey, use Febreze or have it, bring it back to a dealership, we'll spray some Febreze in there. You don't want to just grab the Febreze from the store and just keep on spraying it on the vehicle because you'll damage that Napa leather. But other than that, there's been some complaints about some noise coming in from the roof rails, and that's all I've heard. Now, it's all under warranty, so Hyundai is taking care of it, and you know, I'd rather have a longer warranty. And now we're in the second or third year in production, so hopefully those little glitches that they have are already done and fixed. So I have the parking brake on. I forgot. Let me turn that off, and then we're going to take it for a spin. Couple things as always, you know, it's we're going to check out the rear view camera, and we're going to check out the turning radius on it. And it's kind of sad because right now at the dealerships, this is the middle of their lot and it's empty. Guys, if you're looking for a car, you might have a tough time finding maybe the exact model that you want. So turning radius, okay, let's turn it all the way, and then we have parking spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4 parking spaces to twist this thing around. All right, which is very nice, very tight. Rear view camera, check this out. Put it in, it does have the 360 trajectory lines front and rear. Very nice. Okay, you can see what's going on, and it helps you with parking right here. There you go. Beautiful camera, nice display, different angles of the camera. You can see the side view right here. You can see this is the main view, and this is the top down view. So in case you're towing anything, this one's not equipped with the towing package, but if you were, this is the easy way to control it. Now you can see there's brightness and some other settings for the camera system, so you can select it to the way that you like it. All right, so let's take it on the road and see if I still like it. Overall, like I said, you know, I still feel really good about this vehicle. It's definitely will make the list again on the vehicles to consider in the next 6 months or so when our lease is over. But I've tested some pretty cool vehicles since then. Now, since the last Palisade, I've done the Toyota Highlander, I've done the Kia Telluride, I've done the Nissan Pathfinder just recently, which is all new for 2022. And I've done the all new Jeep Grand Cherokee L, which I was absolutely amazed with. But you know, this is, like I said, this is still a solid choice. I like the way that you sit in this vehicle. I like the comfort of the seats. The visibility, you know, is great. Mirrors are nice size. This is all things to consider when you're shopping for a vehicle, because, you know, you don't want to get in there and say, hey, you know what, it looked good on the outside, but I didn't really care for it. So I always tell people, you know, get in the car, go to a dealership, test drive it. Remember, you don't have to buy it to test drive the vehicle. Check it out, make sure, you know, you drive it, and then make a decision based on that, and of course in some research, maybe watching my videos as well. All right. They're gonna accelerate a little bit. It's nice. It's definitely capable acceleration. What my concern is a little bit, I didn't hear it, I don't think, last time, and maybe it's a different tires or different wheels, but it does have quite a bit of road noise coming into the cabin. don't hear as much of the engine noise, which is nice. The 3.8, it feels nice, smooth, but it also feels powerful enough to make this vehicle go. Same engine, obviously, we've seen on the Telluride. Yeah, the 20-inch wheels, you know, sometimes the tires, the low-profile tires, they're great for looks, but not as good to drive on, and maybe a little bit stiffer than I would like to. Overall, definitely could get used to it. Now, certainly, you know, it is a competition right now with prices, because even at $48,720 with this model, if it was a all-wheel drive model, it would be right around $50,000, $51,000. That's definitely where all of the other ones are. So price-wise, still competitive with other vehicles. Let's see. And I would most likely get an all-wheel drive. You can definitely feel a little bit of that torque going into the front wheels only. It's not that it's like overwhelming, but I think that I would feel safer and would feel more solid with the all-wheel drive system. That's just my opinion. Overall solid vehicle. It's still you know, towards the top of the list of the SUVs. They haven't really changed much, but like I said, this is a design that's only been around for about 1.5 years or 2 years with the Palisade. So great job. I like it. Guys, if you're looking for something like this, definitely don't skip the Palisade. Check it out. And check out other of my videos. I mean, if you're looking for a SUV, there's several of them to choose from. I hope you like my channel. Consider subscribing. Don't forget to hit that little hand up button. And I will see you in my next video. Cheers.